How are we doing, my friends? I'm currently snacking on some coleslaw that Alex and I made yesterday. We used red cabbage, regular cabbage, pumpkin seeds, raisins, some sliced apple. It's just really, really delicious. Things are moving. Things are happening. They're unfolding. They may not be going according to our plans and our hopes, but they're moving, and that's all we can really hope for. As you guys know, we moved to New Zealand in January, and the plan was initially to move to New Zealand within the first couple months of being here, receive our stuff from the US via shipping container, which, as you guys saw from my last vlog, it was delayed quite a few times, but it has finally arrived, which is great. And our initial plan was within the first couple months to get our stuff and then find our home here, our home base. We have been living in a temporary living situation for like 6 months now. So it's just about 6 months, I think. It's definitely starting to prolong just a bit more than what we had anticipated. We have been looking like crazy. The house hunt has been on. It has been full blown, especially over the last couple of months. We got really serious about it probably about 3 months ago and have just been like full blown house hunting every single day the last couple of months, maybe the last couple of months and a half. And we have officially seen 3 houses that we were very interested in, and the first one we never ended up making an offer on because the more we learned about the property and the area, which it was, we decided that we were not going to put an offer in on it. The second house that we loved, we ended up putting an offer in and we did not get it. This third time we saw a house that we really love and loved. Now we have to say loved because it's just no longer a possibility. And we put an offer in on it and it was very close. We got good news about it and then we got bad news about it. So essentially it fell through. We were gutted when we heard this news of not getting this latest property because we adored it in so many different ways. And I shared a little bit of this on my Instagram. I just like did a text box because I was just like, I've been really staying off social media and offline lately, and it's been really nice, and I feel more called to create YouTube videos that kind of go in depth in this whole process, like the raw, real moments of it, the hard parts. I just feel so connected to you guys on YouTube here, and like when I posted my last video, the comments that I got about so many of you guys telling me like, hey, we didn't get our house until the 9th offer and it's the house that we dreamed of, and just all of the things that really like gives me a lot of hope. Obviously, we are first-time buyers and we're first-time buyers in another country, so we're learning so much about this process. One thing that I will say, every house that we've loved and wanted to put an offer on has been a lot better each time. We've just loved it so much more each time. So I'm crossing my fingers that the next one, or maybe it's gonna be the next one after that, is going to be the best one for us. In reality, like we are going to wait until we find that one because we're really lucky to be in this temporary living situation and that we have a place to stay in the meantime. That is such a beautiful, cozy, great place to be in. Cannot complain at all. And you know, we're just so grateful for that. So it's a process, and we knew that this would not be easy. I will say that, you know, I posted on my Instagram that it has been hard for me as of late. Like I kind of hit this like wall recently where when we first got to New Zealand, and I knew before we moved to New Zealand that this would be part of my process because I get really creatively inspired by my spaces that I've created within the home. Like, of course, I love sharing, like when we're out and about sometimes, like weekend getaways and adventures and stuff like that. But where I really pull most of my passion and my inspiration is about the home and garden and a harmonious, cozy lifestyle within your home and like a space that you've created. I feel like it's been more difficult because I haven't had my space, unpack our bed. There's not really anything that I'm thinking about that I want that's in those boxes, but it's more so like creating a space. And I know you guys know what I mean, because home is so important. I think we really learned that so much so in 2020, just how important home is and how much it can give to you when you give it love and attention. And I'm just looking so forward to we can do that again. And it's so much anticipation right now, but again, I've told you guys in previous vlogs, like I'm leaning into that unknown, and I'm doing my best at looking at this as a opportunity. Like, okay, now we have this blank slate and we can find the best thing for us. I'll say this, we've definitely gotten to the point where now we know what we want. And I think it has taken a lot of time in trial and error and learning what is out there and what's possible for us. And I think we have a good idea of that now. And what's really nice now, initially we could live anywhere in the country and really in any type of house. And we don't need specific requirements for what we do because we work remotely. And so it was a bit daunting because there were a lot of options, but we really narrowed it down into what we know we want and what makes sense to us. And good news is that we're on the exact same page. And of course, like I said, we were gutted when we heard the news, but it's just kind of shifting that and realizing, also just being grateful that like we're even in this position, right? To be looking at houses, to be looking at buying a home for the first time. And you just can't let go of that. You can't forget that and kind of just lose track of the gratefulness, because that's when you lose track of just the purpose of this all and like the happiness in it. So that all being said, that is where we are at in the house hunting situation. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'll share the good, the raw, the bad, the not so fun, and the absolutely wonderful parts, which I know that they've already been throughout this process. I love New Zealand. I honestly love living here, and I can't tell you guys that enough. I truly love this country, and I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to have this connection to it now of my own. I feel connected to it now in my own way, and I felt like I loved it when we came here together years ago, but now because I live here, I just have this different connection to it of my own, and it's like deepening as time passes, and I can't wait to like take it to the next level when we find our house. It's like a relationship. I'm like, let's go to the next level. We're not ready yet? Okay, we're not ready yet. Are we ready now? Okay, we're not ready. We will be ready at some point though. And so I'm just being patient and giving it all that tender love and care. And then when this country is ready for our next relationship, I will be here waiting. That all being said, today is a beautiful sunny day. It is winter here, which I will say has also been something that I'm like, oh, I don't want to be in winter again, because we left the US in January. So we obviously left winter, but then we had this like beautiful end of summer fall here, and then now we're in winter again. And so I can't complain much because we had a good like end of summer time here, but now it's winter again, and I'm a little bit like, I want to bake something. I think I'm thinking focaccia, maybe some cookies, although I realize that I don't have any chocolate chips, which is, I mean, just crucial when we're making cookies. But I'm gonna brainstorm a bit. Let's bring you over to my computer and let's look on Pinterest and see what I want to bake, because honestly, I don't really care what it is, but baking makes me happy. So let's just see what sounds good. Oh, cinnamon rolls. Do any of you guys feel this way about baking? I know that there are many of you watching that feel this way, because I feel like baking brings so much joy to people's lives. And I feel like as human beings, we have to have these things, like these little side hobbies that just instantly, you know, if you're doing that thing that you are going to just like lose track of time and just have the absolute best time. That's how I feel right now. So I'm gonna get all my ingredients out, and I'm going to try making this recipe called the best cinnamon rolls you'll ever eat. That sounds right up my alley right now. This is future Carrie here, past Carrie had high hopes about her cinnamon rolls, but she forgot one important ingredient: the cinnamon in her cinnamon rolls. Let's all let that sit for a second. I forgot to put cinnamon in my cinnamon rolls, and afterwards it didn't even click for me. Alex was taking a bite of these cinnamon rolls that you can no longer call cinnamon rolls, and he was like,
rolls.
Let's just call them rolls. Cookie rolls. They kind of tasted cookie-like, and he was like, they're good, but like they're not that cinnamony. And for some reason, my brain thought that I put cinnamon in, and I was like, oh, it's just light cinnamon. But it's the truth of the matter is that I was using light brown sugar instead of dark brown sugar, but my brain was telling me that that was cinnamon. I don't know what happened. I don't have an explanation, but all I can tell you is that at 1 a.m. I turned over. I had a flashback of not having cinnamon anywhere in my vicinity while making these cinnamon rolls. I was supposed to grab it, never did. And
came to you in a dream.
It came to me in a dream, in a vision. I rolled over to Alex and I go, I never put cinnamon in the cinnamon rolls. And then I rolled back over and I woke up this morning just like, what happened? Honestly though, I do know what happened. I am not a person that can multitask while cooking. If I'm talking to somebody, if I'm having a conversation, like whenever I'm hosting somebody or I'm on a call with somebody or anything like that, and I'm baking or cooking at the same time, I'm so immersed in the conversation that and I was talking to my friend Eileen on FaceTime, and even she, at the end of it, she was like, send me a picture of how your cinnamon rolls turned out. And I was like, I'm not great at multitasking, so I don't even know what I've done here. And she was like, yeah, you really seem like you're not paying attention to them. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like me to a T. And obviously it is, because again, no cinnamon in my cinnamon rolls. So we are currently driving down the road to an archery range, which is really fun. I've done archery one other time, maybe 1.5, because the second time you can't really, it was just very brief. But it has been years and years and years and years since I have done archery. I actually have a clip at the very beginning of my Instagram of me like hitting target, and it was really fun. It was during like the Katniss phases. You guys know the Hunger Games put archery very mainstream and on the map, and I was like, oh, I want to try. So I did archery back then. Alex loves archery. He's been doing it for a while. He has a target that he uses at home. He was doing it a lot in our backyard in LA, and he does it here in New Zealand too. So he found this little archery place, and I'm excited because I'm tagging along today to see how it goes and to try it out.
I met an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me.
Good old wholesome archery experience. That was really fun. Everyone there is so nice.
Yeah, super good vibes.
And the older man that was helping me he was a good one.
So helpful.
So helpful.
First guy to actually use the phrase "Bob's your uncle" like in all seriousness and in context. So now we have a really good understanding of
now
what
your
that
dad's
phrase
not the
means.
only one who says Bob's your uncle.
No, not at all.
Because Alex's dad's obviously was born and raised in New Zealand, so he's a Kiwi, and he always says Bob's your uncle. And we were like, even I mean, you've been hearing it your whole life and never really heard it elsewhere.
New Zealand has some of the most unique English phrases, in my opinion. Being down here, isolated at the bottom of the world, the language has evolved and has changed, and there's just a lot of phrases, that are just very uniquely Kiwi.
And you're like, and the longer that you spend here, the more you hear and the more you understand, oh, okay, that's what that one means.
So, for context of Bob's your uncle, we had just finished Archery. We were helping clear up and put away all of the supplies.
Essentially like a pop-up archery situation.
Yes, so I had a trolley and was helping move the big target, and we rolled the target onto the trolley, and it was snugly there, and he goes, "Righto, Bob's your uncle." And that was the go-ahead to say.
So Bob's your uncle essentially means like,
you're all good.
we're good.
It's all good.
It's all good. I always thought that it meant, of course. I always thought it meant like, well, Bob's your uncle.
I think it's more like, okay, you're all sorted? Great, Bob's your uncle.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, maybe the comment section can help.
Yeah, let us know, Kiwis. It is time to make some lunch because I am top of the mountain hungry right now. We are going to make hamburgers and sweet potato fries with coleslaw. We're gonna do a bigger lunch and like a veggie dinner because we're gonna have extra coleslaw. So we're gonna like move that into dinner time, have some roasted cauliflower that we had last night. We have leftovers, that'll be for dinner. So we'll do a big delicious lunch right now and then have like a light veggie dinner. So my body is very, very ready for this experience. Yes, I am still wearing the same shirt that I wore yesterday because we've got regular fries and sweet potato fries going in the oven. For the sweet potato, I did rosemary, salt, and pepper. For the regular fries, I did garlic, salt, and parsley. Question in the comments below, let me know, are you a sweet potato fry person or are you a regular fry person? I'm more so regular fry, Alex is more so sweet potato fry. I just did a poll on my Instagram and there's quite a debate going on, so let me know in the comments below what you prefer. I am putting together the hamburger. I've got coleslaw. We're using the homemade sourdough bread as a little bun. I've got my aioli, some tomato here. I'm gonna put lettuce there, and I'm gonna get over there and eat because I'm starving. Dinner. It was supposed to be lunch, but I feel like it's also going to be dinner because it was so, it was a feast. Let me say hi. Look, say hello. We are on a little walk right now, and I decided to just have a little sit right here and just kind of enjoy listening to the birds. Just wanted to chat with you guys kind of about what I was talking about earlier in the vlog and just how this journey has been so far and like how it's just kind of, it hasn't gone exactly how we anticipated. You know, I think we all have expectations about how our lives are supposed to play out, and we can have plans, and sometimes those plans are delayed or other things come up or they don't actually end up working out the way that you dreamed or thought that they would. And I think that that's part of making a big leap of faith like we have here in New Zealand. And to be honest, like the whole process has been so, it's just been so intense. Like I just feel like we've had so much intense growth as a couple and as people individually. And I know when we get to the point where we find where we're supposed to be and it just all aligns, we're gonna look back and go, all of this was for this. All I can really say is that this entire process is already worth it. Before even finding our home, before being able to unpack all of our stuff, we just feel no matter what happens in the future, that this process has been worth it in so many different ways. Ways that I can't even put into words really. It's a feeling, it's a shift in energy. It's sort of just feels very meant to be the way that it's all unfolding, even though the way that it's unfolding is intertwined with disappointment from here and there. We have grown so much as a couple, I can say that. As you can imagine, there have been so many different times where we have had to be there for each other. We've kind of had to be the yin and yang. We've had to really be on the same page because this process of moving to another country, shipping your stuff, finding your first home, it's a lot. And also bringing your little pupper, like it's been a journey, guys. It has been a journey. And I know I've said this so many times that this process is a process, but it is. And I know I get DMs every once in a while from people who are moving abroad or even moving in New Zealand and asking me questions about it. And I'll say this, it's not easy. It's not easy. Like if I make it look easy, that's why I'm making these vlogs of like the true disappointment, the raw and real moments, because it's not always easy. But it's worth it because there's so much that you learn. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of living in another country. I'm a big fan of going with your gut. And if you feel a calling to do something and it's out of your comfort zone, I am a huge fan of like taking that leap of faith and seeing what happens. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I am going to let you guys go now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you very, very soon in a new one. Thank you for watching.